got it. Okay. It's going a little rough this morning. I'm running solo. Now, for a lot of us creators, we do run solo. We kind of go to bed at night, and I know now I don't have my lighting right, I don't think. My good wife is out doing errands this morning, so just me and my coffee. I can kind of look at my other screen, see what I'm doing here. So I get my, I'm just talking about how I get my topics each day, and I'm looking at the topic there. And all we do, like for me, I go to bed at night and I wake up in the morning, turn my computer on, and up this thing comes on my screen here. The decline of Jehovah's Witnesses, no more hours. It just came about. That just happened. Someone was inspired to put that there. Wasn't me. Now, just so you know, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. Now at nighttime, my good wife likes to read, so she's always doing some reading, and she surprises me when I get up and turn my computer on in the morning. So usually I have some, well, let's just see what happens. So I hit this other screen here. You see, I gotta shut this off. Did I get my voice even turned on? Yep. Okay, so I get into the Google. This is a research screen. When I get into this screen, it all automatically comes up with music. It's just the way it is. It's supposed to inspire me. Now, we're going to talk about decline of Jehovah's Witnesses. Something like that. Decline of them. Here we go. The decline of Jehovah's Witness. Their pandemic. See if that's the one. Hey, there it is. There's the one, the exact one. That's the article. So that's JW. Avoid JW. We use that a lot. Usually what I do, I just scan through the article that I'm supposed to deliver. Now this is a decline. I like to see who gives the article. It's written by Lester Samora, March 4th, 2023. This was written March 4th. Now, I want to go back to the home page. And I want to look here. This is our home page, it's Avoid JW. We go to it a lot. And I've been on this a lot. I've been doing the annual meeting. This is the thumbnail here behind my head here. But this is the one here, the decline of Jehovah's Witnesses, no more hours. So this is the more recent one, field service hours, no more hours. This is what's interesting, is because they're not counting time anymore, no more hours. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is. He's even talking about November 1st, 2023, where the publishers no longer have to report the amount of time they spend in field ministry. So here you go, folks. It just amazes me. I go to sleep at night, I wake up in the morning, and here's an article in front of me that I get to talk about and read about. So this morning, I'm going to give you a little tour of what I do. So I go through the article, I read the whole thing, the annual meeting, the statistical review. This gives a chart here. You know, how does he get this kind of stuff? You know, this guy has to be on the inside, or he has insider information, Lester. There's a lot of work going behind the scenes to build all of this stuff, put it on websites. So he's talking about the key. We'll read through this, because that's what I'm supposed to do, and we're going to read that. Frequently asked questions. We get right to the bottom. There's Lester. There he is. There's the guy. Thank you, Lester. Thank you, buddy. Lester writes about the beliefs and practices of Jehovah's Witnesses on his social media platforms and was baptized as a member in 1998. So he's just like a lot of us, just trying to figure it out. So let's see what Lester does. Well, here's his kind of his whole site. You click on his name there. And here's the article we're going to look at right here. Now we're going to skim through this. There's a lot of stuff here. And it just keeps going on. You remember the Toni Morris receives new home? Lester is a journalist, and he writes, we've read a lot of his articles online. Sometimes we don't ever look at all the work these guys do behind the scenes. It just keeps growing and growing. Look at, here he talked about the decline. I ran that article a while ago. And just article after article. I'm just going to keep going through it. It just keeps going and going. Are we at the bottom yet? You remember some of these articles. Probably you guys do. This is before my time even of waking up. So we're getting right to the bottom here. We're finally at the bottom. And I was looking at this earlier. I'm not going to say I didn't look at this. Now the concordance to the Greek Testament, I looked at that, and yeah, he has that. You can download it. I downloaded the Dawn of the New Era, and I downloaded the Crisis. I started reading it, and I wanted to keep reading it. I actually want to do a video on that. So all of this work Lester put into this site, thank you very much, Lester. We're going to get back to the main article that you guys want to know about, is this one, the field service hours. Now I'm going to change my screen and get rid of the music. That's better. Now, field service hours, this is interesting. The decline, the annual general meeting, we talked about that. We ran a lot of videos. The breaking news was the adjustment to the field service reporting. No longer do you have to report time. As of November 1st, is it? Or November 6th? November 1st. Here it is. At the 2023 annual general meeting, the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses announced that effective November 1st, 2023, publishers would no longer be required to submit field service hours. And below is the text of the announcement on their official website. So that's breaking news. It's not even in effect yet. And here it is. It's already across. There's reviews on this. There's discussions about this worldwide. And Lester is in on it. So the statistical review, did I say that right? Statistical? Yeah, I better have a sip of coffee. For the last 2 years, I've been publishing on this website an analysis of each service year reports published by the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. Each of those statistical analyses showed that Jehovah's Witnesses have been on the decline since September 2010, recruiting less and less new persons into their religion. However, I never paid much attention to the amount of time spent by Jehovah's Witnesses in the field service ministry. And the data was there in the Excel spreadsheet, but there was no context in which to place it. That context came at the 2023 annual general meeting of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. Now below are the graphs for the field service hours spent by the Jehovah's Witnesses globally from 2005 to August of 2022, based on service year reports for the said period. Frequently asked questions below for a definition of the service year report. So, okay, we just went below here and it says, what is a service year report? A service year report begins on September 1st and ends on August 31st of the following year. A service year report is a feel-good document produced by the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses each year that shows global statistics regarding the field service activity for the recently concluded service year. And it contains a breakdown country by country about the number of active Jehovah's Witnesses, the quantity of hours spent in the field service activity, and memorial attendance, amongst others. And the service year reports are available on the official website of Jehovah's Witnesses, jw.org. So thank you very much for that. And now we're going to go back to the article. Okay, we're back at the article, and just above that we're reading. And now we're going to look at this graph. I'm going to actually move myself off the picture here. And we're going to just study it. Maybe you can see the little hand moving there. Okay. So it's the field service hours per month per average publisher, September 2005 to August 2022. So there we go, 2005. It's been a continual upgrade, trickle. There's been a little bit of a dip here, 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 2018, the virus, it started to go down. 2019 it went down. Right at the fall of 2019, 2019 it plummeted to 2020, plummeted. Look at that, look at right here. Wow. It's never been that low before. Like, it was over here in 2005, it was 16.67. It's never been this low, 16.52. And now, 2021, it's plummeted to 13.98 on this chart. And then 2022, it looks like there's a little bit of an upswing there. Why is that? It plummeted and then there's a bit of an upswing. I don't know. Is that the African? They're focusing away on the Philippines where there's no internet? Could be. Anyways, I'm going to get back on the screen here. It's charts. You can figure a lot out by graphs and charts. Now, the key features of the graphs, he says there was a steady increase in the monthly hours from September. Yeah, we noticed that, with 2 consecutive minor dips. Now, the monthly hours were peaking during September. We got that. So, limitations. The total hours presented in each service year is a lump sum figure combining hours spent by congregation and publishers, together with other Jehovah's Witnesses who have a monthly fixed hour rate for each month, such as missionaries, circuit overseers, their wives, special pioneers, regular pioneers, and so forth. So the governing body, you see, folks, the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses is not transparent. They don't show their money. You never know their bank account. You don't know how much they spend on humanitarian needs. They don't help the poor. They used to be transparent when there was growth. When there was lots of growth, they bragged about it in their yearbooks. Now I don't think they show anything. Now, he says here, the governing body presents no data in each service year report to separate the field service time spent by the latter group mentioned above. Yeah, of course, they're going to limit their data. And hence, it's almost impossible to determine what is happening at the ordinary publisher level. The actual decrease in field service hours is most likely worse than depicted in the graphical presentations above. And the decrease could have started much earlier than estimated. So, folks, a lot of these are estimates, I guess. They have data, but it's sketchy. The governing body they're limiting the amount of data. And when your organization is falling, you're going to hang on to your data. You're not going to make that public any longer. You're going to make it not important. Just like the field service time, not important no more, just check a box. So now they can say, yeah, time's not important. Interesting. This is a big business using big business tactics to control its members. So let's hear the concluding comments. Lester says, what does this new adjustment mean for PIMOs? By the way, PIMOs are there's a definition for it down below. If you're in, but you're mentally out, you don't believe it anymore. So PIMOs who previously submitted fake field service hours just to save face, and who hasn't done that, right? May face increasing scrutiny from their congregation elders, as the new field service report would no longer a space for hours. It would be up to each PIMO to justify the quantity of religious material distributed to non-witnesses per their monthly field service report, when in fact they barely participate in any formal field service activities of Jehovah's Witnesses. So this could be more scrutiny. Time will tell, and we'll find out as we move forward. Now, this unprecedented decision to remove the hour requirement certainly did not happen overnight. It came after closely observing trends since September 2018 to present. And it is clear that Jehovah's Witnesses are spending less time in evangelical and proselytizing activities. True enough. And it is also more evident that the number of Jehovah's Witness publishers are decreasing over time, with less and less people joining the religion. Now see my previous articles, Watchtower on the Decline and the Decline of Jehovah's Witnesses, their pandemic continues, for more details. Now, the 2023 service year concluded on August 31st, 2023, and it goes without saying that the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses have been monitoring the situation since September 2018 or even before, and however, the final reports for the 2023 service year unveiled a rather uncomfortable, unsettling truth. The field service hours per publisher were not increasing as expected, but were in fact, embarrassingly, decreasing. Now, in response to this decline, the governing body made a pivotal decision, and they chose to eliminate the hour reporting requirement for congregation publishers. The precise reasons behind this embarrassing decrease remain a closely guarded secret within the governing body and other high-ranking Watchtower officials, leaving active Jehovah's Witnesses in the dark about the true cause. So there you go, folks. You got the rest of the story right here. Thanks a lot, Lester. Now, Lester goes on to say, in my personal opinion, this decision may have been driven by a desire to avoid further embarrassment from former members who might conduct a statistical analysis of service year reports. And this unprecedented move serves as a clear indicator that there have been substantial challenges within the Jehovah's Witnesses community. And we've seen that on our all of our videos, on our live chats, everything. In fact, we ran a video where there was a lot of talk in the community about these changes, and it's not good talk, not good for a big business, because this could cost them a lot in the big scheme of things. But we'll have to wait and see. So here we go. Lester continues on. He says, consequently, it seems probable that the 2023 service year report will no longer include the time spent by Jehovah's Witnesses in preaching God's message of salvation, namely God's heavenly government. And if this indeed comes to pass, traditionally the service report is posted on JW.org around January each year. It would set a precedent where any content in future service year reports causing embarrassment to Jehovah's Witnesses might be removed. And that's going to be, we're going to see that coming up here when they post it. And he goes on to say the possibility even exists that the service year report might no longer be publicly available and instead be classified as an eyes-only report for selected elders, indicating the lengths to which the governing body might go to preserve their image. Good point, Lester. Good point. Now, I'm going to read this. This is interesting. This is from the book. This little box here is from the book. I'm just going to see if my lighting changes a bit here. Yeah, that'll work. Now, this is a book excerpt from the Crisis of Conscience, 2004 edition by Raymond Franz, a former member of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. And these are some little clips here. And this one says, the night Rene Vesquez came by our room, and remember Raymond Franz, he was on the governing body, so he was in the Bethel and everything. And imagine he's in the Bethel, and this guy comes to his room. And he had been attending a seminar for elders arranged by the society. And Raymond says, we discussed his impressions, which were basically favorable. And at one point in the conversation, however, he said, it seems to me as if we almost worship figures. Sometimes I wish we would do away completely with field service reports. So even back then, in Bethel, they were talking about it at a high level. And here's another one. One can keep constantly at people to perform certain works, and they may do this as a result of pressure. But where is the evidence that the works are generated by faith and love? Good point. And if not so motivated, how pleasing would they be to God anyways? Isn't that true? Like this whole field service time thing and faking hours, everyone's faked hours. everyone's padded their field service time report. There's a few of these really self-righteous ones maybe that haven't, but everyone does. Everyone rounds it off to your benefit. We know that. Now, the last one here is the more closely men try to supervise their lives and activities of fellow Christians, the more they actually squeeze out the opportunity for faith and love to motivate and control. I acknowledge that it is more difficult and far harder to work to build up people's faith and appreciation through Scripture than simply to give pep talks or make people feel guilty. But from what the apostle wrote, that harder way seemed to me to be the only scripturally right way and wise way. The harder way. So it's difficult and harder work for people to build up faith and appreciation than simply give pep talks and make people feel guilty. And that's what the organization is about. If you've ever been in the Watchtower organization, going to the meetings, that mid-week meeting is all about pep talks, making you feel guilty, you're not getting enough time, or scrutinizing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next. Raymond was away before his time, Raymond Franz. He was way ahead of his time. So let's read on. For many decades, the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses have steadfastly ignored the counsel of their critics, standing firm on their own rights and freedoms, while showing little regard for the rights and freedoms of others. And as we say here in Trinidad, it blasted good for them. It blasted, and they had it coming a long time, and they looked for that. So I'm wondering if Lester's from Trinidad. Interesting. Now, Jehovah's ever-moving chariot is certainly broken and dead. Now, did I give that like the assembly talk? Probably not. But it's not working. Their chariot's broken down. It's crashed. It's sitting there broken at the governing body's headquarters. These guys are at a loss. So you can go on here if you're not a Jehovah's Witness. I'll link this article and in here, and you can go to their website. You can look a little more. It talks about field service hours, if you're not sure what that is. That's going to be a thing of the past, Yeah, all the new ones that are coming in, they won't have a clue what it means, counting time, padding your hours, You ever, I used to pioneer, right? And I tell people, if I was working for a company, this is how I used to justify it. I go to work for a company because I had a company. I used to pay employees, but when I'd hire them to be there at 8 o'clock, and I'd have to pay them until 5, and I'd knock an hour off for lunch or whatever. And some guys would work through lunch and then say, well, I want to go home early. And I said, no. The work laws mandate that you take an hour off, take a break. Everyone needs a break, and if you don't take a break, that's when accidents happen. And that's how we ran it. And so I used to run my service time a bit that way. I'm going to be at that Kingdom Hall at 9:15 for some service meeting, and then be out in the service at 9:30. As far as I'm concerned, the company's paying me to be at that company meeting to learn how to peddle their literature. I would have no problems counting time from being at that company meeting, that service arrangement. And if they want to dick away a half hour, I'd sit back and I'd have my coffee at the back. And I'd even extend it. Hey, I got an idea, even extend that, get these guys talking. They love to hear themselves. They all do. In fact, I probably was just as bad. I get talking. So anyways, you can learn about what it means to be a PIMO, and you can learn all about Lester. I don't know if these guys take donations. I don't think they do. These guys, there's no advertising on this site. It's done by all ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and they really know how to write. I think these guys could have been from the writing committee in the Watchtower, but the amount of articles that this Avoid JW puts out is just fabulous. It's great information, and I want to give them a big thumbs up. So that brings an end to our program. I'm going to change the screen here. Oh, that was good. that lighting still. You know, without my good wife, I'm lost. But hopefully the show was okay today, and we're gonna do a better job on the next one when she comes back and gives me a little help. But so far, I think we're doing okay, and we're gonna run our outro. So until next time, folks, keep living your day with love, and don't worry about all that time counting. If you have to count time, you're still in it. Pad your hours. Well, you don't have to count time no more. November 1st, just check the box. But yeah, the days of padding the hours are all gone. Well, until next time, keep living your life with love. Bye for now. Oh, hello. My name is Vern. Join the channel. We cover JW World News, and we give you the rest of the story. Today, we're going to the Watchtower, and we have lives on Tuesday nights and Saturdays, and an excellent community. So join the channel and watch as we crash into the Watchtower. Here it is. I see it coming. Woo! Join us as we report in on the Watchtower.